whatever direction your life takes, along with it come certain jobs that just have to be done. We don't really pick our lives. We take one decision. Perhaps it is to get married. Right? And as soon as you take that decision, along with it, there's a lot, it's like comes in a bundle. There are things that you simply have to do. It is your duty to take care of your parents, to take care of your children, to take care of your in-laws, to take care of, the family that surrounds you. But you have to stop it at a point where it starts becoming too heavy, too much of a burden. And you start feeling as if life is just suffocating you, that you have no time to do what you want. And it is in our middle years that we feel the pressure on both sides. At the same time, our children need us. They're having their children, they're getting married, they need us around. And at the same time, our parents are getting older for some of us. So you get pushed on both sides, and the burden becomes almost too much to bear. When responsibility is taken on voluntarily, there is always joy. As long as you feel as if something has been imposed on you, it's going to feel like a burden. It's going to feel like this is not my choice. And the truth is that not many people really get to choose. Yes, you make one decision to get married, or you make a decision to live in a particular country, or you take a decision to take a particular kind of job. But every time you take on a job, with it comes responsibility. Certain tasks have to be completed. It is on you to do it. And it becomes extremely difficult if you're doing it grudgingly. And many people do their jobs grudgingly. They work in jobs they do not like. They work in jobs that's too much for them to take. And it's no fun. It's no fun. There comes a point in your life where you have to make that choice to break off and do something that's close to you, that's close to your heart, that makes you feel complete, makes you feel absorbed totally. That's when you know that this is something that's really good for you. That's when you take on the responsibility of the job. If it's something that you thoroughly enjoy, if you enjoy making clay pottery, for example, then the ideas that come to market it or to gift it or to give it to somebody, it takes on a role of its own and it becomes joyful. But if you are selling machinery when you want to be making pottery, that becomes a burden. That becomes a burden. Every role that we take on, that we identify with, has duties that go with it. And in the Indian system, we have a whole big rule book, and we call this dharma. Doing the right thing with every role, as a mother, as a father, as a king, as a subject, as a soldier, as a potter, as a weaver, as a person who takes away cadavers, works in the graveyard. Everybody has duties to perform. And if these duties are performed, only then do you have an ordered society. Now, this is the basis of the caste system. The caste system was originally based on the jobs that you did, the roles that you played. So if you look at our, in the ancient times, their lives were divided into four. Of course, women didn't count. It was only men's lives that were divided into four. I'm talking about this in Women's History Month. Let them know what our history was like. In the first 25 years, you studied. You educated yourself. You lived. And with it came responsibility too. You lived with your teacher. You took care of his needs. You collected firewood. You did all the chores that were expected of you. And this was extremely important, right? And only men studied. Women didn't, right? At the age of 25, they expected you to take on the role of a householder. Now your duties change completely. Now your allegiance to your teacher becomes second place. Now your allegiance is to your wife and to raising your children, to taking care of your aged parents, to taking care of extended family, to working hard and earning a livelihood. That's for the next 25 years or so. And then your duty changes again. You go into the forest. You let everything go. You say, I've lived this, I've done this, I've earned money, I've had children, my children are now grown. Now I'm going to ponder and the deeper mysteries of life, find out what life is all about. And you go into the forest with very meager belongings. You leave all your belongings behind, all the Gucci purses and all the Louis Vuitton bags, and you go and live in isolation somewhere. And you think about what life is supposed to be like, and what you want to do in your life, and what it all means. What is the reason of happiness? And the main question, who am I? And there's a point in your life when you even give this up, and you take on what they call sannyas, where it is complete renunciation of all the joys of life. Give up everything and just stay in meditation. This was how your life was divided. Now there is no such division, right? From the time you're young, you're continuously studying. And if you're studying to be a doctor, it's about 30 years of studying, 35 years of studying. And then it's the whole endeavor of trying to make sense of this life. The pressure, and there is no retirement. The retirement comes so late in life, so late in life. And right through it, there's not even a thread of spirituality. The problem in developed countries and why people are so miserable and so tired and don't want any responsibility with their, they don't want to deal with their kids. At 16, they want them to find their own life, pay for their own college education. They don't want, any responsibility. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with their parents. They put them into homes. Now, this is not done in other countries. You go to Africa, you go to India. I mean, it's happening nowadays. People, there are retirement homes coming up. But traditionally, the aged people lived with their children and they breathed their last breath surrounded by family, children and grandchildren. This was how it was supposed to be. And there was always that sense of community, that sense that I am protected, I am cared for, I am loved, and never a sense of feeling so isolated and so lost. You see, when people isolate themselves, then any loss becomes magnified because you don't have that support. So you think you're dealing with it all alone. And it's too much to bear. And then it becomes a burden on you, right? My only job is to take care of my kids. Something happens to my child, oh my God. But you see, when you live in a community-based culture, there is so much support. Your child is everybody's child. So the entire village cares for the child. The loss is the entire village's loss, right? And the support is so overwhelming. They hold on to you. They hold you tight till you're able to stand and walk again. Nothing is a burden when you do it joyfully. Sometimes I like to watch you see a lot of YouTube videos about life in the village in different countries, in South America, in Africa, in not so developed countries. And you always see that feeling of community, that the whole village works as a unit. They all support each other. The sense of community is so strong, even though in India it is along caste lines, that people of the same caste tend to support each other more. You will find, and I've been told, that if there are, say, Muslims living in one part of the community and Christians living in another part of the community, there is this respect between them. Each person has their duty, their responsibility towards keeping the community whole. It's very interesting to see this dynamic in play out in villages in India. And I think we feel it much more, the burden of our lives, because we have this isolated life, this complete cut-off sense of being indoors all the time. If we were always surrounded by people, if you lived in a home where there were children, the sound of laughter all the time, where are you going to get depressed? Children don't let you get depressed. Even though you have the burden of the pain of the parent being sick and needing care, the laughter of the children kind of balances that and makes things bearable, right? So we've voluntarily cut all this off, cut ourselves off from this. And then my money is my money alone. I'm not willing to share it with anybody. I do not want to pay any extra taxes. I do not want to give money to charity. I do not want to do anything for anybody else. Right? This sense of I, me, my entitlement is what is warping society as a whole and making your duties unnecessary. So you find that the family unit itself is fracturing. Even the immediate family is fracturing. And if you don't have that, there is no joy in life. There is no joy in life. The joy is in reaching out to others. And you don't have to be married for this. You can be in a community even without being married. It's about reaching out to others, offering your help to others, not because it's your duty to do so, but because there is joy in doing it. When you reach out, when you create that sense of community, you take on the responsibility without feeling the burden. Yes, we can't do everything. We decide what is important for us, where we want to invest our energy, because you have only one energy. And beyond and above everything, happiness is your birthright. So what is the trick to performing your duties without feeling the burden? You see, inaction is not an option. Not doing is not an option. We cannot stay in one place without doing anything. It is impossible for any human being to be like that. And if you put yourself in a situation where you don't do, you set yourself up for depression, anxiety, and all the other mental illnesses and physical illnesses. There is joy in action, in doing. You have to just keep doing. But don't think about doing it. It's the thought of doing it that causes the trouble. The real enemy always It's just the thought of doing it. Oh my God, I have to go and take care of my mother-in-law this weekend. Oh my God, I could have been going out and enjoying a ballet, but I have to go and cook for my mother-in-law. Oh, I have to take care of my children. I can't go out. I have to babysit this weekend. Things can become a burden. But it is only the thought that makes it so. You go, whatever life serves you, whether you live in a nuclear home or you live in a extended family. People are now moving towards extended families because they're seeing the benefits of doing that, where in the olden times it was the younger kids that went to work and the grandparents took care of children. Right? I see a lot of grandparents babysitting nowadays, taking the role of caregiver. It's happening again. Because there is some comfort in that. There is some comfort in that. And for a while, yeah, you might feel squeezed. You might feel like everybody's trying to get a bit of you. But if you stop thinking about the thoughts attached to it, the emotions that you're feeling, it'll stop being a burden. Stop thinking that, oh my God, I'm being used, people take me for granted. These kind of thoughts don't lead you anywhere. They don't serve you at all. Victim thoughts are the worst. Do what you do joyfully. There is no karma in doing things for others with hatred or resentment in your heart. You get no benefit. You have to take care of your children. You have to take care of your parents. Or you have to take care of your husband or whatever, your wife. Do it joyfully. Do it joyfully. Whatever life throws at you, go with it. Go with it. Drop the resistance that tells you, oh, I should be somewhere else. I need something else. I want something more. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. We want so many things. We don't get what we want. We're unhappy. What's the point of all that? What's the point of this whole life? In a few years, it's all going to be over. Maybe it'll be over in less than a few years. And then what? You spent your whole life thinking, oh my God, people took advantage of me. I was forced into this life. I did not want this. Relinquish those thoughts. Relinquish those thoughts. Everything is okay. Everything is just the way it's supposed to be. Life is perfect as it is. Once you get that attitude, you just go from moment to moment to moment, doing whatever is asked of you. And be thankful if somebody needs you. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So do it joyfully. Do whatever you do joyfully. Om Namah Shivaya.